Dr. Cornel West has to correct the record with Chris Cuomo. During an interview, Chris Cuomo started to put words in Dr. West's mouth, and well, Dr. West can't have that. No, he had to make sure the record was set straight. Here's that clip of Dr. West defending not only himself, but children all around the world.
Terrorism is defined by killing innocent people and terrorizing people.
Yes.
The Israeli Defense Forces have done it. Hamas have done it. Both are immoral in that sense. So I'm not defending the killing of innocent people.
These kids aren't accusing Hamas of genocide.
People who do.
They're accusing Israel.
No, but
a place that was targeted by genocide.
What is happening? No, but what is happening right now, brother? And let us be honest. If there were a Palestinian occupation of Jews, if Jews were in Gaza and Palestinians cut off water, food, electricity, bombing and killed 2,300 precious Jewish babies, which side would the American government be on? Which side would the American press be on? It would be completely different. I try to be morally consistent and say, I'm against the Palestinian occupation of Jews because Jews are precious. I'm against an Israeli occupation of Palestinians because Palestinians are precious. But when you flip that other way, all of a sudden it becomes very clear that the Palestinian lives really don't count in the way that Jewish lives do for the American government. And that's what I will never succumb to. Why? Because I'm trying to be a decent human being, and also, as you know, as a Christian, each one of those precious human beings are made in the image and likeness of God, and I'm going to stay in contact with the humanity of each, and I'm going to be critical, and I'm going to condemn any group that kills innocent people. Those are war crimes, my brother.
Yes, I get it. And the context here has a lot of different levels. But nobody's arguing what precipitated this event. October 7th precipitated the event. You say, well, but October 7th was justified, but everything came before it. I say terrorism is never justifiable because we didn't make that case on 9/11.
Well,
there was a lot of reasons to say America had done the wrong thing in the region. But when al-Qaeda hit us on 9/11, it wasn't therefore justified in an understood human reaction to suffering. It was terrorism, and we went into the wrong country and killed everyone we saw, and the college campuses weren't blowing up like this. Do you believe anti-Semitism is rearing its head in America?
But I mean, with anti-Semitism, we know anytime you have Jews in a Christian civilization and in Islamic civilization, you're going to have Jewish hatred. That's why we got to be against Jewish hatred, the hating of Jews, no matter what.
But why are our universities allowing
it? But don't put words in my mouth and other people's mouths. When we talk about precious Palestinian humanity, precious Palestinian resistance. There has been nonviolent forms of resistance, and the Israeli Defense Forces shot them down, my brother. Martin Luther King's spirit was invoked. We tried to promote that. They shot them down. What did South Africa do when they shot them down? What did Nelson Mandela do? He formed a guerrilla group, but what did he do? He attacked only military sites.
He didn't rip the breasts off women and mutilate babies and rape old women until he broke their bones.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. That's the difference between the ANC and Hamas. And Hamas, like any other group, I'm not targeting Hamas at all, and I'm not justifying Hamas. But what I'm trying to do is this. I'm trying to get people to say that if you're really concerned about the violence across the board and the barbarity across the board, you're going to have to understand the history of the vicious, ugly, atrocious war crimes against
I don't disagree.
Palestinians. We got to be honest. Read Norman Finkelstein's book on Gaza and get a sense of what's going on.
I don't disagree that there is a sadness that approaches madness in terms of what has happened in Palestine for many decades. There's no question that better should be demanded of the region and of all the allies. And also, Cornel, I would never put words in your mouth or anybody else's. I bring you on out of respect to have a conversation.
I understand.
Right.
I do.
And you're welcome back again.
That's why I was just trying to correct and say I would never say they're justifying. We got to be honest about our morality being consistent.
Understood.
But also understand there's rich humanity among Palestinians and Israelis, and trying to understand how vicious that occupation. We got to cease fire. We got to exchange the hostages. We've got to end the siege and we've got to end the occupation and see how these Jewish and Palestinians can live together some way, somehow. What a pipe dream is still worth pursuing.
The goal is absolutely the right one. How we get to it is what the conversation needs to be, with as little animus, especially in this country, when we should be having our eyes on the goal, not who to blame, as we're seeing right now. Cornel West, thank you for having the conversation. I wish you well, as always.
Indeed. Thank you.
Chris Cuomo should be ashamed of himself. You did say he justified Hamas's attacks.
October 7th precipitated the event. You say, well, but October 7th was justified, but everything came before it. I say terrorism is never justifiable, because we didn't make that case on 9/11.
Well,
there was a lot of reasons to say America had done the wrong thing in the region, but when al-Qaeda hit us...
Which we all know is a lie. Once again, I had no problems with people not preferring Dr. Cornel West. I disagree with you, but I have no problems with you doing that. You can choose other people. It's a free world. And you can have a different opinion about Israel and about Palestinians. But it's when people put words in your mouth, when people just lie, when people just smear, that's when I have a problem. I don't respect a lot of people who are into politics. That's just a fact. But the ones I do respect, I respect them for a reason. Dr. Cornel West is as consistent as I've seen anyone be on Palestinians, on wars, intervention, imperialism, colonization, colonial apartheid, whatever they got going on, whatever this atrocity is we got going on in Israel.
Tenured positions in the past at Harvard, Yale, and Princeton, and you've been back at Harvard in non-tenured position for the past 5 years. But the university declined your recent request to be considered for tenure again. Were you given reasons for why you were denied this time?
It was a tenure review that they had denied, and I think they've changed their mind now, but it's too late. And I don't really know exactly why. And so my hypothesis is it might have something to do with politics. But I mean, I'm deeply concerned about the Israeli occupation and Palestinian plight and predicament. And that's not a popular issue. And I think we have to have a serious, robust, uninhibited conversation about that issue that's respectful. It's not anti-Jewish, but it's not anti-Palestinian either.
Dr. West has stood up and took lumps and sacrificed and lost opportunities and positions because of it. And I don't see that happening with a lot of folks. Just because you support Palestinians does not mean you support Hamas. Just because you want a ceasefire does not mean you support Hamas. It means stop shooting. And if you weren't calling for this to end, this occupation of Israel to end, then you helped put us here. That's the other thing people aren't saying. And I understand how dangerous it can be to your career. But what I'm saying is if you're in the news business and you're afraid to lose your position, maybe you're in the wrong career. That's right. Maybe you're in the wrong career is all I'm saying. See, the problem we have in America, and the problem we have with independent media, and the problem we got with corporate media is everyone's got a microphone, but only very few of us have what's called a backbone. So whether it's the IDF or Hamas, when you kill innocent people, that's called what? It's called a war crime, no matter who's doing it. That's a war crime. But what happens to people like Chris Cuomo and so many others who are even worse than Chris Cuomo on this? They want to frame it as if there's only one group that's killing innocent people, and we know, just all we got to do is look at the numbers. So the latest trick that they're doing now is they're saying the numbers aren't correct. The numbers are suspect. Yeah, that's Joe Biden's way, and we all know Joe Biden ain't running anything. Joe Biden's taking marching orders, okay? But that's their latest tactic, is to say, no, it's not really that many children being killed. Right now, they're still bombing Gaza. Not Hamas, they're bombing Gaza. I said last week, guys, and if you missed it, look, there are horrible people in our country. America has gangs in every state, in every city. They're called cops. We got Klan, Nazis. We got all types of people in every city, in every state in this country. I've never heard anybody say, oh, I know a way to get rid of them. Let's bomb Kentucky. No, that's not our solution. So why is that a reasonable, feasible solution in Gaza. Once you decide not to be biased, it's actually pretty simple. Let's say America wanted to get rid of the Klan in Oklahoma. It's not like they would be okay with bombing Tulsa, Oklahoma all over again, would you? See how simple that is? That makes sense, right? Only a lunatic, a person who didn't care about citizens, innocent citizens, would approve that type of tactic. And that's all they're saying. Chris made the assertion, and then he tried to talk over Dr. West. He tried to talk over him. So West had to, hey, okay, I'm going to answer your question, but let's go back and make sure we clean this up. Because there are people that are detractors of Dr. West. If he did not force the issue and go back, they would still try to pin it on him. Chris Cuomo, at the end, he let Dr. West correct the record, so I'll give him props for that. But Chris, in the future, man, don't talk over Dr. West like that. You're better than that. You're better than that, Cuomo.
Tim Black's Black Table streams Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Feel the power of the news with us.